I bet you're a bit like me, and there are certain myths and misconceptions that you believe about discovery calls for coaching that just aren't true. And today, it's time to eradicate them. Hey there, health and wellness coaches. I'm Nick, your sales coach, your discovery call authority, and your exactly what to say official certified guide. And as I was saying earlier, I bet you're a bit like me, and there are certain myths and misconceptions that right now you're believing about discovery calls for coaches. And they're just not true. Today, I'm going to be sharing 3 of my own myths and misconceptions that I had about discovery calls and what I learned instead. So let's start with the first one. I believed that if I did not get a yes on every single discovery call, that I was doing something wrong. I was bad at sales. I didn't know how to have a conversation that helped somebody make a decision. Here's the thing. You're not necessarily meant to get a yes on every discovery call, because a discovery call is for you to explore and discover whether or not it's the right fit for you and the other person to work together. So this isn't I hope I get a client, I've got to get a yes on every call. This is more of you going in with curiosity and the intention to discover through conversation whether or not this is going to be the right fit. If you get a yes on every call, you would be taking on clients that are not the right fit. You would be maxing out your time with clients who really aren't the best fit for you to be working with. That's going to take away from the work you do with other clients. It's going to take away from your energy and your desire to coach if you're not coaching people that you're really lit up about working with. So that's actually what I used to think. I really thought that I was doing something wrong if I didn't get a yes. And actually, this goes back to when I was in my corporate sales job as well. I remember we had to do a lot of dialing for dollars, right? A lot of call blocks, which meant we would make hundreds of calls in one sitting. And I used to think, wow, if all of those, I must be doing something wrong if I can't turn all of those calls into appointments and clients. And then I started to notice myself doing it in my coaching business a couple of years ago. And then I realized, no, I'm not meant, you're not meant, we are not meant to work with every person that we get on a discovery call with. The point is to discover. So there's nothing wrong with you not getting a yes by the end of the call. Sometimes a no is the best answer. The whole point is you get to a decision with the other person. And your job is to know how to handle the conversation so that you're able to help them make a decision. And the decision should be mutually beneficial for both of you. If you decide it's not the right fit, it's because it's not the right fit for either one of you. This isn't an audition. You shouldn't be hoping that they choose you. Stop giving your power away. The point is to have an open conversation and decide, is this the right opportunity? Is this the right fit? Do I want to work with them? Do they want to work with me? And if you do decide in the conversation that it's the right fit, then that's when you would move into making an offer, introducing what you have that can help them. The second misconception I had is that I couldn't let somebody off the call. Like if they said, I need some more time to think about it. We've all heard it. It's kind of annoying, right? Like, what the heck do you need more time to think about? You're somewhere where you don't want to be. You know that I have solutions. What is the problem? Okay, but still, people are going to get to that point of, I need some time to think about it. Well, you can't force somebody to make a decision. So it's not necessarily the end of the world if you let somebody off the call. One of my coaches did it to me a couple of years ago. And honestly, I consider her an expert salesperson. And she let me off the call. She said, how much time do you need? I said, 2 weeks. She said, great. We'll follow up in 2 weeks. And then during those 2 weeks, all I did is obsess about the opportunity to work with her. How am I going to make it happen? Where am I going to get the money? How am I going to find the way? And so that when I did get on the call with her 2 weeks later, it was like, it was still scary. It was still a big decision. But ultimately, I knew for sure I wanted to do it. All I could think about was doing it. You get to decide on the call, what is going to be the best way for you to support them? Does it feel good to give them some more time? Does it feel good to schedule a follow-up a couple of days later? Make sure that you find out from them before you let them off the call. What is it that you need to think about? Just so we're all clear. What are the factors going to be in your decision? Like, make them state that before you get off the call so that you're both clear. What is it that you really need to think about? And what factors are you going to use to make your decision? So help them get clarity, not just procrastinate, right? Because a lot of times when people say, I just need some time to think about it, all that means is I'm scared to make a decision right now. So instead, I'm going to go overthink it and overthink it and overthink it and really get on a call with you 3 days later still to tell you I'm nervous to make the decision. So make sure that you get them to a place of what is it that you need to think about and what are the factors you're going to be using in the decision that you're making. And then schedule a follow-up with them. And the third misconception that I had is something that I see a lot of my clients do as well. And I bet you might be making this mistake. I used to think that I had to show up for the call with all the information, all the things that I needed to show and prove and provide to the other person. I thought I had to do all the talking, all the selling, all the convincing, all the sell my value. I hear from people all the time. They're like, I don't know how to sell my value. Well, your job is not to show up in the conversation to sell anything. Your job is to show up and ask questions. That was a huge game changer for me. And it's a huge game changer for the clients that I work with, because that's what I teach them how to do, how to have quality conversations, how to ask good questions so that you're gaining context. You're learning about them. You're learning about what they want and helping them make a decision, not you showing up with all this information. The information that you think you need to provide is not what you need to provide. You need to show up and be able to ask good questions, get them talking, guide the conversation, and help them make a buying decision.